Carole and I are thrilled with today's announcement. The palace hums with stress under pretty tiaras and fake grins. Carole Middleton, 70, breaks Buckingham's courteous stillness with a confession. For decades, Queen Camilla's scandal, endurance, and suspicions of hidden power have split Britain. The Princess of Wales's mother now names patterns, slights, and unhealed wounds. Does the public finally understand why animosity persists? Stay close. Tonight, Carole's disclosures realign loyalties and make the crown unsafe. Carole Middleton reveals her secrets for decades. Carole Middleton guided her daughter Kate, the future queen, quietly. She was the mother who never sought limelight, pursued headlines, or violated the divide between family and monarchy. Carole appeared to the world as always present, graceful, and unimposing. Knew how to encourage her kid without dominating her. Kate and others in the royal orbit admired her equilibrium. She appeared elegant, stable, and content to let her daughter shine. The shock was evident when Carole Middleton's voice broke the hush and spoke against Queen Camilla. An explosive. It was no little remark or argument. A storm rolled over Buckingham Palace. Affairs, scandals, betrayals, and money problems plagued the monarchy for years. Kate and her infant may spend 6 weeks with her parents in Berkshire. But Carole's choice to speak out wasn't just another royal scandal. This was different. It was personal. It was forceful and about control, which had been silently fought over behind royal walls for decades. When her interview appeared in Saga magazine, readers were shocked. Once private Carole Middleton was now chatting and revealing. She was removing layers of polished smiles and well-rehearsed public actions. The world thought she and Queen Camilla were courteous, pleasant, and supportive in front of the cameras. But those who paid careful attention always felt a darker undercurrent beneath the sparkling tiaras and photo-friendly smiles. Tension. Rivalry. Since Kate Middleton's romance with Prince William became serious enough to hint at marriage, a conflict was inevitable. Carole remained mute for years. She watched Camilla's quiet words, subtle dismissals, and chilly overtones label her daughter as unwelcome in the aristocratic family from the shadows. Camilla, raised in the world of titles, luxury, and stringent British elite codes, did not consider Kate. She lacked the centuries-old aristocratic bloodline and social connections of a royal bride. Kate's power, elegance, and grace to wear the crown as the Windsors required were questioned by Camilla. Carole saw all. She witnessed how her daughter was constantly questioned and expected to prove herself. She knew Camilla saw the Middletons as intruders who had climbed too high into a world that was never meant to embrace them. Yet she said nothing. She repressed her anger to support Kate rather than start a fight. Silence is temporary. At 70, Carole Middleton had enough. Camilla was at the heart of a tempest as her statements, published worldwide, broke decades of latent tensions. She lost control. The quiet mother who had built her family's success brick by brick spoke for the first time and didn't back down. The narrative gets darker here. Carole hinted to something more than criticism, something that has been buried behind royal walls for years. Carole reveals Queen Camilla's worst secret, what could be so deadly, that it threatens monarchy. Stay tuned, because the solution will challenge everything you thought you knew. Carole Middleton challenges Camilla. Queen Camilla's actions had long bothered Carole Middleton. Carole reached her breaking point without one dramatic moment or heated discussion. No, it was far more devious. Small insults, subtle dismissals, and deliberate slights that built up until they were unbearable. Longtime friends say Carole endured it with dignity, never lashing out or playing palace games. But even the patient woman has limits. Carole felt her every move in royal circles was being used against her. Not just coldness, was strategic. Camilla appeared determined to place herself between Carole and Kate. Like the Princess of Wales's mother had no place near the monarchy's inner fortifications. Minor conflict escalated into a silent but violent power play. Buckingham Palace whispers revealed a faint but unmistakable trend. Carole would strangely miss important invitations. She was generally seated apart from Kate during formal dinners, while Camilla was in charge. During public events, sly remarks would sneak out, always subtle enough to avoid headlines, but stinging. Though quiet, it remained constant. Carole, a woman who had worked hard to bring her family to a new world of opportunity and maintained respect and grace in the face of constant scrutiny, saw these repeated slights as deeply personal wounds meant to remind her of where Camilla believed she belonged. Externally, always inferior. Every day, the palace mood thickened. Even senior royals sensed danger as staff noted the atmosphere and murmured in corners. The Windsor family's civility began to crack as lines were drawn and alliances quietly formed. Everyone anticipated a fight. When was the question? And then, it happened. Usually calm, Carole Middleton trembled as she rose to speak at a normal gathering. Not fear, but long-repressed rage. Focused on Queen Camilla, rape survivors. This was violated by strangers. The chandeliers seemed to hold their breath as the room sank into a harsh quiet. Carole, I know your truth. She cut the hall with her words. All royals turned. Some gasped. Camilla froze, her face cracking slightly as Carole's voice got stronger and steadier. She described covert meetings, whispered machinations, and hidden manipulations. She presented Camilla as a schemer who moved people like chess pieces, not the devoted queen consort the public was encouraged to respect, continually plotting her next move to win. After disclosure after revelation, the regal image was mercilessly smashed. The courtiers shuffled nervously, their pallid faces like the walls had ears. The statements destroyed the veneer utterly. I know your past. Camilla's face was colorless and her voice weak. You talking about what? She asked, quivering with fear. Carole leaned forward slightly, calm yet triumphant. Your long-buried scandals and lies. I know everything. Heavy hush filled the room. Even air felt frozen. Camilla appeared confined, powerless, and insecure for the first time in decades. Those present said they heard her thunderous breathing as she realized the walls were closing in. Despite its shockingness, this was only part of the narrative. Had more to reveal. Dark, frightening truths that threatened Buckingham Palace. What could Carole reveal to make the world rethink what they knew about the Queen Consort? The following revelation will leave you stunned, so hold on. According to Camilla, Diana was more than a princess. She was amazing. She was nearly miraculous due to her compassion, beauty, and ability to connect with regular people. She symbolized something the monarchy had lacked for years to many worldwide. An institution with frigid rules and stiff traditions shows warmth, openness, and humanity. Diana felt like an outcast when she married Prince Charles and entered a rigorous system. This alone garnered public sympathy, but Diana's marital strife and Camilla Parker Bowles' shadow made her the timeless symbol of pain and resilience. Over time, the two women contrasted more than ever. Diana was loved as never before by the monarchy due to her charm, smiling, empathy for strangers, and willingness to breach protocol. She immediately became the face of a modern royal family, loved by the press and spectators. Camilla had a different image. She appeared cold, aloof, and calculated. The public saw Diana as the mistreated princess and Camilla as the interloper who ruined a dream marriage. Diana's 1995 Martin Bashir interview strengthened this notion. It was crowded when she said the unforgettable words, "Because there were 3 of us in the marriage." World froze. The affair between Charles and Camilla was revealed in that sentence, making Camilla the culprit. The media, ravenous for scandal, quickly painted Camilla as the royal villain. Television, tabloids, and headlines promoted the same story. Princess Diana was victimized, and Camilla destroyed her ambitions. Public attitude hardened by 1996, when Charles and Diana divorced. The majority supported Diana. Camilla was blamed worldwide for Diana's anguish and the fairy tale's demise. Press loved reports of secret rendezvous, whispered calls, and Charles's increasing love for Camilla. Each discovery fueled public fury. Britain was not alone in its Camilla loathing. It expanded worldwide. Diana's appeal and indignation over her suffering were universal. Camilla symbolized betrayal, whereas Diana symbolized elegance under immense strain. The gap between their images deepened after Diana's 1997 death. Diana was a humanitarian, mother, survivor of a harsh marriage, and most importantly, a woman who gave despite suffering. Camilla was irrevocably soiled by connection. Even after Charles married Camilla in 2005, Diana haunted every public appearance. Many believed no one could replace Diana in their hearts. Even though Camilla tried to change her image, that affair defined her. Diana's recollection haunted her every move, honoring the woman the world loved and lost. One lingering question remains as Camilla sits beside Charles as queen consort. Can she ever forget Diana? Will she always be remembered for breaking a princess's heart and causing the royal marriage? A hesitant queen consort? Keep watching. Carole Middleton speaks. Why Queen Camilla's marriage haunts the crown. I remember April 9, 2005, like it was yesterday. Royal couple Charles and Camilla married at Windsor Guildhall. The public saw it as a love tale that had survived decades of secrecy, scandal, and criticism. Many of us who felt Diana's pain didn't see a happy conclusion. I felt like an open wound was pressed shut before healing. No ordinary royal wedding. A dividing line. Some saw it as Charles's method of proving his dedication to the lady he loved most in life, despite what others believed. However, many, including myself, thought it was a grave insult to Diana's memory. The union didn't erase years of betrayal, whispered calls, or Diana's public humiliation. Even though the public protested loudly, the crown did as it pleased, making the pain worse. Camilla knew Diana's shadow would follow her into marriage. To calm the outrage, she didn't take her legal title, Princess of Wales. Instead, she became the Duchess of Cornwall to honor Diana. But titles don't erase feelings. She was still seen as the intruder who had taken Diana's place in history. Naturally, the press portrayed her as a scheming manipulator unworthy of her affection and status. The public wasn't the only one hesitant. We lived under dimes and clapped on our ponies. Queen Elizabeth struggled with Camilla joining the royal family. Not just a family issue. It was about faith, tradition, and image. Camilla's affair with Charles led to their relationship. For a monarch who loved the Church of England, that was hard to accept. For years, the Queen stayed away. She refused to even nod at Camilla in public. The Queen finally took the smallest step by attending a party at Highgrove House, signaling that she might tolerate Camilla. But acceptance is different from tolerance. Charles's quiet maneuvering, image management, and unwavering determination made Camilla acceptable to the institution after years of effort. His king-dependent future was clear. Once the Queen gave him her blessing, everything changed. Many were shocked by Queen Elizabeth's February 2022 statement. She wanted Camilla to be queen consort when Charles became king. That declaration ended decades of coldness and established Camilla's royal status. It was a turning point and the final validation for some. However, many, including myself, didn't care what the Queen wanted. Public memory was hard to soften. People were bitter over Diana's story, and no endorsement could erase it. That's when things get tough. Because resentment persists regardless of her title or crown. It has just changed shape, waiting to erupt again. Why is the Queen consort still controversial after all these years? Stay put, since the solutions are darker than expected. After King Charles III's ascension, Camilla Parker Bowles became Queen consort, reigniting one of the most acrimonious arguments in royal history. Her royal status was eternally tainted by scandal for decades. Princess Diana's tragedy. While some have welcomed her, Charles's ascent to the throne and Camilla's new title showed how divided public opinion is. Once, Camilla's job appeared inconceivable. In the years after Diana's death, many saw her becoming queen consort as an affront to her memory. Attitudes changed throughout time. Over half of polls taken near Queen Elizabeth II's death endorsed Camilla's title. Maybe more luck than talent. Significant change from before. However, roughly a third believed Diana's memory and Camilla's controversiality were too strong to accept. This division spans generations. Older Brits who remember the 1980s and 1990s media frenzy are still linked to Diana's story. The frequent headlines, rumors, and Diana's eerie interview statements are what they remember. We had 3 people in this marriage, so it was cramped. Many saw those statements as a confirmation of treason, and Camilla's title now feels like a rewrite of history. Youth see things differently. Most didn't live Diana's life. They grew up perceiving Camilla as Charles's quieter, more stable partner. They see her as the king's partner, not the tabloid controversy woman. Even young people are uneasy. Your first reading memories are always there. Diana's memories and legacy are enduring because it still haunts Camilla's role. The media has fanned divide for decades. Early press portrayed Camilla as scheming and unworthy, comparing her to Diana's charm. After years of Camilla handling her tasks calmly, certain publications grew more sympathetic. However, most Camilla stories revolve around Diana. She cannot escape a parallel as queen consort. Camilla's story shows a monarchy torn between tradition and modernity. The queen consort title has long been prestigious, but Camilla carries a hefty burden. Diana was mentioned during Queen Elizabeth II's burial and the Platinum Jubilee. What if she lived? What if she were queen? These inquiries maintain Diana in the public eye and Camilla in her shadow. Increasing stress leads to one compelling fact. Camilla's public outreach is late. Will she ever escape Diana's ghost or remain the monarchy's most problematic companion? Stay updated. Camilla's public approval battle. Too little, too late. Camilla Parker Bowles has worked hard to reclaim her reputation as one of the most loathed royals. She knew joining the royal family would bring scandal, betrayal, and a reputation tarnished by her affair with Prince Charles during his marriage to Princess Diana. Camilla faced popular mistrust, resentment, and often downright hatred from the start. Still, she persisted, determined to soften her image and establish her worth through devotion and loyalty. Camilla has prioritized humanitarian activities, especially for her personal concerns. Her work to raise awareness of osteoporosis, which killed her mother and grandmother, is perhaps her most noteworthy. She has given lectures, launched campaigns, and relentlessly promoted osteoporosis research and education as National Osteoporosis Society patron. This cause, anchored in her sorrow, showed her vulnerability and relatability. She continued her work. Camilla also supported organizations for sexual assault and domestic abuse survivors, giving voice to silent women. She met victims, financed shelters, and advocated for risk reduction legislation as a patron of Women's Aid and other advocacy groups. Camilla created a symbolic but real place for herself in the royal family. Her participation in royal life has grown from restricted engagements to standing with King Charles at high-profile events and leading her own initiatives. Camilla typically chose quieter, less fashionable causes, suggesting she wasn't seeking publicity but attempting to make a difference. Some respected her for her dedication. To some, she is no longer the villain but a lady who has taken on her obligations honestly. Even though she tried, her history has haunted her. Public opinion is divided. For everyone who praises her humanitarian work, others remember her role in Diana's agony. The press has also kept the globe informed. From her 2005 marriage to Charles to her status as queen consort, memories of the scandalous affair have marred her life. Many struggle to accept her due to decades of unfavorable press. Camilla's public image is now between cautious approval and lingering skepticism that may never go away. Can she ever capture the nation's heart as queen consort? Comment your ideas below. Be sure to like and subscribe.